715. My name is Dave. I'm joined by Michael.
Dave, how's it going? It looks like technical issues were on your end this week after BB technical issues for 2 weeks. Technical issues. Technical issues.
Reboot. Your audacity just said, "Fuck you! I don't want to work."
I'm just saying. We get into the Discord call and Dave's like, "Swick, shit's not working. Can't hear you." And it was you this time.
I'll blame your new headphones.
You know, speaking of which, my favorite pair of headphones broke.
I know, yeah.
I was so
the
sad.
purple turtle breeches, right?
Yeah, they finally broke. They were getting kind of nasty, like the ear pads were getting a little nasty. So luckily, I had these. I don't know,
They're
Rockets.
Yeah, Rocket.
Yeah, I had these luckily, but I'm gonna end up buying my purple turtle beaches again just because I really like that headset.
Well, I know a podcast account that has some cash for you to get you some equipment.
Yeah, I might need to, but I feel like that's wasteful because I do have a perfectly good work headset I'm using now.
Look good, feel good, man. That's like been my mantra for this year. So it's
you have to because you're buying Jordans again and stuff.
Yeah, it's the full thing, man. Angela's been getting her nails done more regularly.
It helps when you have like the kids pretty much out of the house.
Yeah, she made me get my feet done. I felt so bad for that lady.
You just kept apologizing.
Well, I don't think she spoke English. So
okay. So this mad shit was being talked about in front of you.
100%. Yeah. All right, so we are
like Groot over here getting his feet done.
For the record, the time that it took my wife to get her feet taken care of and her toes painted, her toenails painted, they were not done with me.
Okay, yeah,
but my feet feel really good now. So
I'm sure the internet's looking forward to you being part of the foot Wikipedia.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so.
All right, so we are Digital Days Gaming. We are a weekly podcast that posts every Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern time on podcast services. We also live stream the show on YouTube and Twitch. You can watch us on either platform you choose, or both if you want to help us with viewership. So you can go to youtube.com/digitaldaysgaming, and while you're there, you can subscribe to the channel. That's free. Then you'll be notified anytime we go live, and you can watch that. Or you can wait until the morning on Thursday morning, and YouTube also puts out an audio-only version of the show if you like to use YouTube. It just kind of puts our logo up there, and you can listen to the show that way, as well as watch the past broadcast. Or you can go to Twitch, twitch.tv/digitaldaysgaming. Where you can watch our show live. You can follow us on Twitch for free. You can subscribe on Twitch if you so choose to pay for the subscription, or you can link your Twitch account and your Amazon account and get something called Prime Gaming. You get a bunch of cool other benefits as well as a free subscription. A free subscription to the streamer of your choice. Please use that on somebody. They do make you jump through a couple more hoops to use that, but if you could use it on us, that would be awesome. If you don't want to use it on us, cool, but make sure you use it on somebody. Don't let that perk go to waste. It helps support content creators and streamers, as that's a tough business to be in. So other than that, you can go to our website, digitaldaysgaming.com, and check out all of our past episodes. And you can also just click on the show notes of this show. Leave a review while you're there. Rating and a review with words is helpful. And then you can also check the show notes out where all the other links are. And we're going to jump into some news.
Yeah, a little bit of a follow-up in our first story, and that is Toys for Bob has officially inked the deal with Microsoft on their next game. So Toys for Bob broke away from Microsoft, Activision Blizzard, a couple weeks ago, and they mentioned that they are negotiating with Microsoft on a partnership, and it looks like that deal has finally been closed. There was a lot of, I guess, some internal discussions going on in terms of, like, people working at Microsoft being like, what's going on with Toys for Bob? And like Matt Booty had to like kind of come out and just kind of explain the new partnership that they're doing. But we don't know what game they're going to be working on. It is expected that it is going to be a licensed game, as in they're going to use an IP that Activision Blizzard or Microsoft own for this partnership. But yeah, Toys for Bob have their first contract locked down, and it is with Microsoft. Dave, like, I know there was, like, you were just like, what's the point of this deal? But we kind of talked through it and why it makes sense for both sides to do this.
If it is Spyro or Banjo-Kazooie or something like that, which is what all the people, like, that you like, at least the vocal minority on Twitter wants, I don't see the purpose of them going away from Microsoft in this, in that aspect of it. But I mean, like I said, at the end, you sold it on me of like being an independent company, getting to choose what they want to do, working on other projects and other ideas instead of being told what to do or what to execute. Obviously, like reading through the article that came out this week, it was very apparent that they did not want to be a Call of Duty studio anymore, and I think they were doing everything in their power to make sure that they weren't going to do that. So, sure, like this is fine. The fact that they signed a deal already and they've announced the deal, okay. I'm also led to believe that this is probably not something that has any prior work being done at all.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, because like you would imagine if it did have prior work, Microsoft would already own that. So that might be part of the thing where they're like, we have to sign a deal with Microsoft because
I guess it's either way. It's either this is brand new starting this week. Like they're like, obviously there's foundations of games of like, we've all heard about that where like the game was going this direction and a publisher's like, well, let's make it a Halo game, like, and the direction of a game changes. Like we've heard that happen before, but I do find it hard to believe that they, if you go back to like, and I know the Kojima stuff is a little funky and different, but where Konami owned Konami, right?
Yeah, Konami owned.
Yeah,
Metal Gear
Konami owned everything that Kojima did when he was under contract, and he couldn't take any of that stuff with him. I don't believe that like they're starting from like bare bones scratch nothing. Like they're like, okay, like we're independent now. We signed a deal with Microsoft. We're gonna make this game, and they just take a whiteboard and go, okay, Jimmy, go. I think they're a little farther along than that, but not very much.
Yeah.
So
at least have a pitch idea of just like, hey, can we do this?
Max or minimum time frame for this game to come out, minimum 18 months.
Yeah, if it's like a Spyro or Crash game, that seems reasonable. If it's something like completely off the wall different, then it could be a couple years. But I would imagine Toys for Bob's going to stay in their ballpark and their wheelhouse. And
I guess I would expect to see something at Xbox Showcase June next year.
Yeah, and I also get to see them just putting a little teaser together, not of gameplay or anything like that. Like, if it is a Spyro or Crash, all you need at the Microsoft press conference is, like, a little silhouette.
This June.
This June. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm saying this June, they could do what you're suggesting.
Yes.
But I'm saying that date and name of the game would be June 2025.
Okay,
coming out
that's reasonable.
September to November window of, if they're going to do a Spyro, it's going to be a holiday-ish release. Like they're not going to release Spyro in March. Like,
no, unless you can time it out with like spring break, exactly when most spring breaks are happening. And honestly, it's been so long since Skylanders that those people are probably full-grown adults that remember playing Skylander as children. So like you would probably want to just holiday.
I mean, good for them. The only correlation I have to this is Bungie. Like immediately the thing that comes to mind: Bungie buying their independence from Microsoft, running into the arms of Activision for a partnership, and then buying themselves out of Activision and running to the arms of Sony. So like the companies love to be like, hey, we're gonna do our own thing, and then they start doing their own thing, and they write down the budget. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I am leaning towards this being a Spyro game just because for whatever reason that Spyro Twitter account is super active.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Banjo-Kazooie, but I feel like because Rare still exists in name that like people would probably freak out if
I agree.
Rare worked on it.
I have a legitimate question for you now. Like, and whatever, people are gonna roll their eyes. So Game Pass or not? Day one.
It'll be Game Pass because it's Microsoft funding the game.
Okay. Even though it's not a Microsoft studio anymore.
Yeah, but if Microsoft's putting the money down, it's going to be Game Pass day one, multi-platform day one.
Okay. I agree with you on multi-platform. But, I mean, okay, so PS5 day one?
Yes.
Okay.
Just not Game Pass. I mean, it'll be on Game Pass, but Game Pass is only on Xbox, so.
Yeah.
For the time being, if Phil Spencer gets his way. It doesn't get his way. But yeah, I feel like it would be Game Pass day one, and then... Because... I feel like Microsoft is at least smart enough to know putting Spyro or Crash Xbox exclusive would just bring so much weird hate and energy to them that they have to put it out on PlayStation.
You've got a little tidbit in here on that I'm sure we're going to circle back to. So,
yeah. All right. The next one, Marvel announced another game. I guess we're in the season of Marvel just revealing games out of nowhere. This one is Marvel Rivals. It is a 6v6 PvP free-to-play game. I was going to put 6v6 PvP F2P just to be annoying because that's how most of the headlines have been. This is coming to PC, a closed alpha in May. This is just basically Marvel Overwatch. 100% Marvel Overwatch. Like the art style is a
with
little
the
bit more.
sprinkling of Valorant, just a little,
Just a little bit.
little sprinkle,
Like the character design.
Yeah,
It has that like artistic look. But yeah, it's very stylized. The animated kind of cartoon look to it, like the cell shaded thing. I think people still call that. This kind of came out of nowhere. NetEase just putting this together with some random company. This said NetEase on the trailer that I saw. The surprising thing is PC only.
Right now.
Right now, yeah. But the game, I guess, is supposed to launch in 2025 fully, but we're going to have a closed alpha alpha in May and a beta later this year.
It looks cool. You had me watch the trailer before we recorded, which, I had already glanced at little pieces of it, but I watched the whole thing start to finish. It looks cool, and I think it looks interesting, and it looks like the rosters are going to be relatively fleshed out. I feel like I saw some X-Men in there.
I have the full roster that we saw. It is in the trailer. We saw Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Groot, Hulk, Iron Man, Loki, Luna Snow, who I actually am not familiar with, Magic, Magneto, Mantis, Namor, Penny Parker, Rocket Raccoon, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Storm, Star-Lord, and the Punisher.
Okay.
Are the ones we saw in this trailer.
Yeah, so, I guess ultimately the same problem that we've talked about for years with Marvel is, like, how far can you go with cosmetics in terms of how you change the character's look. Iron Man can have different color suits, but at its core, he's still Iron Man. I feel the same way for Storm, and I felt the same way for Magneto until X-Men 97 came out, unless I'm just not naive enough to ever see him wear something like that.
That is a comics accurate costume.
Okay,
in X-Men 97.
But not a mid 90s X-Men costume cartoon.
No,
right?
it's a mid 80s costume.
Yeah. But not in the original
No,
animated. Never.
Yeah, no.
Right. Okay. So it'll be interesting. I think if it is only PC, like, that's a massive mistake, and I expect it not to be. And I'm with you. I think you said it before we recorded, though. Like, NetEase screams multiple platform, like mobile, tablet. Like,
I thought it was going to be a mobile game because this kind of leaked last night that NetEase is going to announce a Marvel game. And I'm like, it's going to be some mobile fucking game.
Because that's been the speculation with NetEase deal with Bungie, is that they're doing something that will work on phones also. Phones or tablets or whatever.
It'll be funny if this was Bungie's project this entire time, but they just can't say it because they don't own Bungie anymore.
Right. Jeez. Yeah, so cool, I guess. I'll look into, because I play a lot primarily on my PC now, 60% of the time. I'll look and see if I can register for this, and if I get it, I'll check it out. I'll probably suck at it. It'd be terrible. My concern also is with a closed beta, or what is it? A closed alpha is going to be mouse and keyboard only, and that's terrible for me.
Yeah, it potentially could be, but controller support I think is going to be crucial for a game like this.
Absolutely,
because Marvel, even if it's just PC only, like, they're going to need the keyboard and controller support. But like, as someone who's like played a ton of Overwatch, this does look like Overwatch, and I'm fine with it being a clone. Because it at least will have like some cool characters. If they go with Overwatch's model of like just cosmetic differences, I think that's going to work better in this game than it did in the Avengers game.
Yeah.
Because the Avengers game, just because they were like so focused on leveling up your character, Overwatch, you're not leveling up your character. It doesn't fucking matter what your character's level is. It's just about like unlocking new cosmetics.
And it looked like you had sidekicks.
I'm not too sure if I got that vibe, but
or assistance. Like,
it could be like, well, I would imagine there's like ultimate moves and stuff like that. So like, like you build up your ultimate attack. So if they have some sort of like sidekick thing with the ultimate attacks, that would be a cool thing to do.
Maybe that's what I saw. I don't know.
Which is something that like Overwatch did. Like the character Ashe had a robot that jumped in when they hit their ultimate and then helped attack things. But yeah, no, this is so you can so characters can work together, so you can get like dynamic combinations of characters on your team and then they'll partner together. It's called dynamic hero synergy. So like if your team has a Rocket and a Groot, the Rocket can get on Groot's back and then they can do like an ultimate attack. Okay. So you might end up with an annoying meta of someone being like, I'm playing Rocket, so you need to be Groot so we can do this. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have any sort of things where everyone can mix and match together, and it's not specific pairings.
Overwatch wouldn't let you have like two of the same on the same squad, right?
Early Overwatch, yes, but eventually they got rid of that because it was just too chaotic. Though they are at the point where Overwatch is experimenting with going back to that because Overwatch is dying really bad and they're trying whatever they can to make their audience happy. But yeah, no, this is I was kind of surprised by this. Like when I found out the night before, like NetEase is announcing a Marvel game, I had like no expectations. This looked cool. Like, is it a ripoff of Overwatch, Valorant? 100%. But I like Marvel characters, so this could be interesting.
Right.
I see more promise in this trailer than I did when I first saw the Avengers trailer.
Yeah. No, it looks fun, and obviously it'll be map variety and game modes. Like that's going to be the biggest thing for the roster. I guess correct me if I'm wrong, you play a little bit more of this kind of stuff than I do, but especially in a free to play mode, like the roster, the maps, and
the modes.
Something else. The modes, yeah. Like that's going to be and then if that all ties into a connectively into a battle pass, then you might have something that can hang around for a little bit.
Yeah, and there you can tell by the current roster they formed, they're not going all out. You can see there being like an X-Men season where you have more X-Men characters. They only really tap into like 2 Spider-Man characters in this thing. So by putting people like Luna Snow, Magic, Penny Parker, even Mantis, they're like, hey, we're going to put some characters in here that people aren't going to probably be crazy for, but that opens the door for them to put those like player demanded characters later and then kind of bring people along, kind of do what Suicide Squad wishes it could do with their lineup of characters.
You can just pay to play Joker now, though.
I know, yeah. Joker's completely free, except if you want him a couple days early, you can pay for it.
Or if you just don't want to play the story stuff, you can just play
that's basically what it is. It's just like, hey, you can play Joker, but you got to play the story, but if you don't want to fucking play the story, you just pay for him.
Give me $20.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it cost. I just said that number.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a pretty good lineup for like the start of a game. It's going to be interesting to see if this does get to evolve into more characters and different universes to go, and it doesn't just turn into we're only introducing characters that we're currently doing movies for. Because that's something that kind of messed up the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Is they were limited to whatever characters were going to be coming in movies soon. But yeah, I guess over under, Dave, 2 or 3 more Marvel game announcements this E3 season. Over, yeah, same, yeah. It's gonna be funny, and we're probably gonna get like no DC stuff.
Nope.
All right. Moving on to kind of a bummer of a story, but not super surprising, unfortunately. But Media Molecule is losing its Dreams curation team due to layoffs. So Media Molecule is looking to transition Dreams to a self-sustaining game after they announced that they will be laying off their curation team. This is the result of the October layoff announcement that featured an evaluation phase to determine their restructuring. So this isn't new layoffs. This is just them upholding the layoffs that they already announced. But Dreams is currently has like a curated playlist to help people discover new stuff outside of just randomly searching. So they're going to replace this with like a kind of a basic automated recommended queue system, or recommended list. So you're going to lose a little bit of like curation, personalization in Dreams, but they wanted to assure the fans of Dreams that are still playing it that Dreams isn't shutting down. It's just losing features. But Dave.
Media Molecule needs to make a video game.
Yeah, I almost feel like we might get a Little Big Planet from them or something, because I feel like they need to do something safe.
They need to make a game that makes revenue. Generates revenue and not just content creator filler. We're talking about Little Big Planet 3 or Tearaway?
4.
Is the last one they made? No, I'm sorry.
I don't think they made Little Big Planet 3.
So then we're talking about Tearaway.
Yes. I'll look it up.
Which I think is 2013, 2014. Like I understand Dreams was this big endeavor, but it was never a game. It was still hard to understand like what you were buying. and I felt like they had to, there was one of those things that they were trying to. This is when I think Sony wasn't accepting service games as a thing, but they wanted to have like creation, build, play, create when they were.
This is like the second time that I feel like Media Molecule were just late to the party. I feel like Little Big Planet, if it came out, Little Big Planet 1 came out in 2008. I feel like if that came out in like 2012, it would have been fucking huge. Like, not Minecraft huge, but it would have been up there. But they were too early on it. And then Dreams, I felt like that was too early. That was a pandemic game that didn't really get a chance to shine. And like maybe indie live service PlayStation focus thing, it could have been big. But Dave, Tearaway is the last game they fully developed, and that was 2013.
Okay.
Outside of Dreams, and that came out in 2020.
Yeah. I just don't classify Dreams as a game. So it's
I mean, but if you classify Little Big Planet as a game, then Dreams should fall too. But we're looking at
at least
7
Little
years
Big Planet,
between...
Little Big Planet had like a campaign and a level and a map.
Tiny. Yeah.
Right, but it had things that you could do. Dreams is just like, here you go. Like
go. I would still count Dreams as a game, but I would say 2013 to 2020, it took 7 years to get the Dreams, and it's been 4 years since Dreams.
Right.
So we're talking about 11 years. And Dreams is the only thing they produced.
Right. So hopefully, I mean, at this point in time, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even think you can I don't think you can remake Little Big Planet because I don't think it would hold water at this point in time.
And Little Big Planet keeps getting DDoS attacked. And now, like, there was a couple weeks ago, I missed it adding it to the stories a while ago, but some hackers found out how to ban PSN accounts if you played Little Big Planet. Like, if you played Little Big Planet, you can get your PSN account banned for a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, because they're mad Media Molecule's not making a Little Big Planet game. So they're going to destroy Little Big Planet 1, 2, and 3 to get their way. People are stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. But, like, what do you think... Like, I would almost say, like, oh, it would make sense for Media Molecule to do a PSVR game or something like that. But that doesn't seem like a viable thing for them.
No, they need to make, like you said, they got to make something safe. That like they got to get their studio stabilized. They got to see if they can. I mean, I hate to put it this way, but they got to see if they can make a campaign-driven game.
Yeah, like, even if they turn into the new Japan studio of like, hey, we're making small.
Yeah, give them, at this point in time, give them Gravity Rush 3 or something. I don't know. Like,
like I'm trying to think like, what, like, can they do a Parappa game? Like, can you, like, what does PlayStation own right now? That
Tearaway remastered, like, make it look better, make it run better, like, get something out.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just trying to think of like what they could do. Don't give them Twisted Metal. Like, please don't put them on Twisted Metal. Right. But yeah, like, I'm just like looking through like PlayStation's IPs that would fit Media Molecule. It's like, yeah, you can throw fucking game
Infamous.
Completely out of their wheelhouse. Yeah, you can throw something crazy at them. But like, can they do an Everybody Golf? Like, can they do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
something like that. Like, there's got to be something that you can give them that isn't gigantic, that could just give them a win. Because this seems like a studio that just kind of needs a win. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know what that could be. Because like Medieval probably can't do much for them. Give them Jack and Dexter.
Agreed.
You know, give them Sly Cooper. They could use something. I just don't know what it is. And I think we talked about this last time when PlayStation was like talking about closing studios. The only thing that's probably saving Media Molecule, unfortunately, is there's still cachet with that name that the fan base would get pissed.
Well, and their European presence.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that they're a European studio, like, you can't really be called Sony Worldwide and be like West Coast and Japan.
Yeah, it's true. Especially now that London's closed. Fire Sprite's kind of half open right now.
Right. You can't just leave Europe entirely.
Yeah. Unless Media Molecule just turns into, like, you know, an auxiliary studio of just like, hey, you're going to help Naughty Dog do some assets or something like that. But
that'd be terrible. So
yeah. But yeah, Media Molecule, they will live to see another day. Just hopefully we get some games from them. Who might not live to see another day, apparently, is like Xbox Physical Media. So Xbox game sales have companies questioning what's the point. So according to Game Industry Biz, at GDC, some publishers kind of expressed that they're not happy with their software sales figures on Xbox, leading some to question why they support the system. This is specific to sales in Europe. So one large publisher based in Europe and one smaller publisher are basically told Game Industry Biz that they're seeing like similar results, where Xbox game sales have just completely flatlined and are falling pretty rapidly. There are even some reports that some European retailers are looking to just cut their shelf footprint for Xbox significantly because of how poor sales are for software. Dave, this almost sounds as designed by how Xbox is doing their business, but it's not a good sign. Definitely.
No, I mean, anytime that anytime you walk into a store and you see red for Switch and blue for PlayStation and green for Xbox, like at this point in time, the Switch is taking up more space than PlayStation, and the only reason PlayStation gets the space that it gets is because of how many consoles they've sold, and people are obviously there's a percentage of people, at least in the States, that are still buying physical media, but I've done it a couple times this weekend. Like we went into one, Angela, Owen, and I went into a GameStop like this weekend, and my wife's even like, she's like, they don't even really sell games anymore; they just sell stuff. And I was just like, yeah, kind of. And it's because like the vast majority, and I will confidently say majority, and a lot of people might not agree with me, but are buying it digitally or are subscribing to services. Like I get annoyed right now if I have to find a disc. Like now, don't get me wrong. There's times that I see something on sale, and I'm like, oh hey, that's a really good price. I'm like, oh, I don't have a disc-based PlayStation, so whatever. But then I don't feel like I'm missing out, and if I do, I'll pay the extra $20 or whatever to play the game digitally. But I guess I'm a victim of circumstance. But like buying Owen that Dragon Ball Fighter game, like it's annoying to, like right now it's the only disc that's in the Xbox. But
at least you can't lose it that way,
right? So, it's just like I even in the like from a Nintendo standpoint, like I'd rather just buy it digitally and spend the extra $8. Like if it's on sale anywhere,
they look so nice on your shelf, Dave.
I don't care.
So nice on the shelf.
Do not care. They also look nice, empty. Like the cases look great when there's no cartridge in there that I can't find because Owen like kicked it under the couch.
Just get a little like, I don't know, some sort of like fluorescent sticker that you put on all of them.
But yeah, like I've seen we didn't really talk about it much either, but I've seen a couple like game announcements in the last 2 weeks of smaller games that they kind of came out and they didn't have Xbox in their thing, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing it. Or that a company came out and had Xbox in there, and then like a week later, like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's happened last month or two.
Right. So, yeah, like they're not selling hardware, but they don't. Microsoft doesn't care. Like that's the part of like where I think all the maybe like this will be the little bit of the gut punch that Microsoft needs. But like, okay, I really don't want to do this. But the games that are coming out that said they aren't making it for Microsoft, I wasn't going to play them anyways, no matter what platform they were on.
You're going to play that game that was like all ants, where you played like a single ant in an army?
Sure. Until somebody comes out and I don't even know, we'll use EA as an example. Until EA comes out and says, hey, you know what? It's not advantageous for us to put Madden on Xbox. It doesn't help. Until somebody comes out and says that, this is a nothing burger.
I would right now it feels like a nothing thing. It could, so it's basically, it's all dependent on the thing that we've always said about Xbox is they need to get their first party shit in order.
Yep.
Because at the current rate they're going, where the first party stuff isn't, like this year is supposed to be the first big year, we're going to get a bunch of first party stuff, but it hasn't happened yet. If they can't get their first party shit in order, then they're going to be in a position where they're going to regret having all these companies not produce games on their system to fill out Game Pass.
Agreed.
And that ultimately can become a problem. But if they
that can also go away if Hellblade 2 and Indiana Jones are Game of the Year contenders.
No, and then that's what I was getting to. If their first party titles start hitting, they will sell more hardware, they'll sell more Game Pass subscriptions. So then other publishers are going to be like, well, shit, it might actually be worth to put hardware on here, even if we're just going to sign a Game Pass deal. Mm-hmm. But right now, if you're an independent publisher and you don't have a Game Pass deal, what
Right.
the fuck is the point of being on Xbox? Because you're not
Other,
the people
other
that
than
are playing
Xbox
out.
saying the PC side of it, but they can be like, oh, we can just go to Steam.
Yeah.
Like, or we can go to Epic. Because, like, in the order of importance of PC stores, it's Steam, Epic, and Microsoft or Windows. And I would even argue it's like 4. You could probably throw Ubisoft Connect or EA Play in there ahead of Xbox Windows or Xbox PC, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah.
So
With the thing that's funny though is like Xbox with Game Pass is going through the same process that Netflix went to. Remember Netflix were destroying it, and then all the other publishers were like, we're not putting shit on Netflix anymore. We're gonna start our own service. So Netflix is like, okay, we're just gonna crank out our own content
and then
hit it
and then buy our own content. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft, they're following the exact same model.
Yeah. And then eventually Netflix was like making all their own content, and then the other studios were like, oh, we'll put our content on Netflix again. And now Netflix has like all the content
They have
from
their
like
cake and eat it
HBO,
too.
Paramount, and they're right back to where they were plus their original content. And that is kind of where Game Pass and Xbox find themselves.
If xCloud gets there, and I think it's slowly getting there, not as fast as Microsoft wants it to be there, but if that little Xbox logo can just be on Roku's and Google Chromecast and all these Fire Stick devices that you just click on it and you play, like I still am guilty of it. Like Hades released on Netflix. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I don't even, to be honest with you, like if I'm being fully transparent, I don't even know where Netflix gaming is, and I'm in Netflix at least 3 times a week.
And it's annoying. It's basically in a sidebar that
Yeah.
you click, and then it sends you to like the Google Play Store or something
Okay,
for you
yeah.
to then download the game.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
So if Microsoft can figure that out to where they go, I don't even know, like Super Bowl, like and like a Super Bowl ad, and they say, I'm just gonna speak out of my butt. Hellblade 3, play it after the Super Bowl on xCloud. Like,
I think the biggest thing for them is the first time they partner with a Roku and Samsung, and there's an Xbox button on a controller.
right.
Because then they can do your ad that you're saying, and they're like,
Yep.
hit that Xbox button
Yep.
after the Super Bowl, and you're in the platform. Like that could be huge for them. But right now, it's all dependent on getting their first party shit in order. And until they do that, like
And that's
they're
supposed
going
to
to have
start
these
like
struggles.
in 6 weeks, right? Like May.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
May
don't
is, like, the
remember
first
the
game.
dates anymore, but like it's almost April when we're recording this, so it's almost April 1st. So
Yeah.
stay
And
off
then-
the internet in like 4 days, people, on April 1st. By the way,
Oh yeah, please don't. Are we recording around that time? Because
No.
it's going to go into
it's
my
a Monday. It's on Monday, so it's
Okay, cool. So we got at least 2 days to figure out what
Yeah.
stories are real and true, and then what stories were fake, but then fans
worthy enough to
wanted
talk
it.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it becomes a real thing. But yeah, no, it's Microsoft finds himself in a spot where they want to go full on in this direction, but it's going to hurt to get there, and it's going to be a battle of
and
attrition.
people are going to point and laugh at them. A lot of people are going to point and laugh at them, and they just got to take it.
Yeah,
You know?
and me and Dave, like we talk about Xbox being, Game Pass being something that we're interested in, and we like playing on Xbox from time to time. Though Dave's more PC, I'm more PS3 right now. It's one of those things where both of us agree, and we said it multiple times. They need to get their first party shit in order. Like that is the key to everything for them, and until that happens, Xbox is going to be in this problem, and they're going to be a joke for quite some time. It's same thing that if you look at it, PlayStation is kind of in the boat where they need to get their first party stuff in order.
Yeah.
But luckily they're at the top, so they have momentum to lose that they can regain.
Yeah, I mean, just for the record, we all know it now, but at a certain point in time, Netflix came into Blockbuster and said, "Hey, we want to talk about a merger," and Blockbuster laughed them out of the building and said, "You're not going to make it. You're not going to last," and they're the last man standing.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying that that's gonna, like, Microsoft and Sony are gonna do that, and like, it's not that point, but it's kind of one of those things where when you sit back and look, like, I think that they're doing stuff that we as a video game playing generation aren't necessarily ready for or aren't ready to fully accept. But in a couple of years, we look back and be like, I can't believe that we used to go to the store to buy a game.
Yeah, the only thing that can prevent Microsoft right now or Xbox right now is if Microsoft's like, we don't want to play this game anymore.
Right.
Like legitimately, Microsoft's just like, this isn't working. Like, sorry, Phil. Like, we're gonna either stop everything we're doing game wise, or we're gonna go back to the old ways. That's the only thing that can stop them. And right now they have a big piggy bank to play with that can buy them time. But again, like, if this year first party doesn't hit, if next year's first party doesn't hit, then I can see Microsoft doing a U-turn or just kind of breaking everything down of just like, we tried, and moving on from there. But
which would be horrible for the industry.
Yeah, especially because they got pretty bloated with studios right now. But yeah, I mean, it still means we're gonna get first party Xbox games on PlayStation. So it's like, there's nothing to really complain about if you're a video gamer right now. In terms of like, hey, you're gonna get PlayStation games, you're gonna get Xbox games on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
So at least from that standpoint, it seems to be working out. But that is all I have for the news this week.
All right. It does not appear that anything has been delayed. So we're going to jump right into what we're playing and watching. Not a lot of playing for me. Angela and Owen are on spring break this week. We ended up going to Kalahari, which is outside of Sandusky, Ohio, which is an indoor water park hotel. We were there for 2 days. Just doing a little bit of spring break stuff, trying to make sure Owen had a good time with some stuff. Lots of water slides, wave pools, playing basketball, just letting him just get a bunch of energy out. Stayed the night. Those places are just so expensive, and I'm just kind of like, okay, you kind of just accept it. I watched a good chunk of the NCAA tournament over the last couple, like last weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oakland University, which is where my wife is actually going to school for her master's. A smaller college outside of suburban Detroit, beat University of Kentucky, where Angela and I lived for a while, and where my daughter was born and stuff. So like that was like super interesting just to see them do that. And a lot of people thought Oakland University was in Oakland, California, but it's actually Oakland County, Michigan. So that was kind of cool. The biggest takeaway, and I know you're a little bit more of a basketball fan than I am, or a lot more of a basketball fan than I am. College players can't hit free throws, man.
No, they can hit threes all day, but free throws is not. Yeah,
and for the most part, I'll be brutally honest. I really kind of was. I didn't fill a bracket out this year. Somebody, Tom, asked in Discord about a bracket thing, and I was like, I really haven't even thought about it. The turnaround time that you get is so small now. Like the brackets are revealed on like Sunday night, and there's games being played like Tuesday night now. So there's not a lot of time to do that. And I really only watched like the last 5 minutes of every game. Just there's a ton of games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as they go from 68 to 32 teams or whatever. Excuse me. So that's kind of where a lot of that came from. I have been paying attention and dabbling a little bit in Destiny, like we've been talking about. They've done 2 live streams of this Into the Light update that they're doing, which is kind of their like band-aid and their bridge with Final Shape being delayed multiple months like it was. Final Shape is still planned to come out in June. I enjoy Destiny, as we know. I've kind of accepted the fact that their player base is stagnant. And Michael's point has been it's been declining, which is looking more and more factually true, and they are doing everything that they can right now to get people just to download the game and to sign in.
Isn't it coming to PlayStation Plus or something? Or
the Witch Queen just came to PlayStation Plus from March. Which at this point in time you own them, like you should just put their content on there. If Sony is really that worried about Bungie and Bungie's really worried about that, like the whole
why
stuff
isn't it just in the regular catalog?
Yeah, it just needs to be on there. But I've said similar things like this before, but I'm legitimately very confident in this right now. So over the last 2 weeks, they've talked about this Into the Light thing, which is literally their band-aid of, please come play this game before Final Shape. Please order Final Shape. Please buy Final Shape because our pre-order numbers suck. And I know Johnny is a boy. He's in chat at one point in time, and he actually asked me in Discord like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago if he should even bother with Final Shape. And I think somebody like Johnny should, just because how much time he invested in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 early. But like they went over weapons and stuff that they're bringing back. There's certain weapons. They're bringing like 12 weapons back that are iconic weapons that got sunsetted or were locked behind a raid. And they released all like the perks and everything you can get on this. This is a free update that's hitting April 9th. And you can play up until Final Shape. And you can play this update after Final Shape. But I'm legitimately telling you, if you're ever remotely on the fence about ever playing Destiny or starting Destiny, or if you have played it before and you have stepped away from it and now you don't want to go back because you don't want to like grind out or power through what they're asking you to do, you can. He's throwing ghosts on the screen because he's being annoying. So they're doing everything they can. You can, like Michael, you could download this game on April 9th, having never played it, walk into this this Hall of Heroes place that they made for this, like this little social space they made for this event, open a chest and be 1800 power, like non-artifact wise, I'm 1810.
Yeah.
So you know, like you could be 1800 power, so you're like 10 power levels below pinnacle, like hardcore player grind where I am. And these 12 weapons are they're going to have a really hard time taking these weapons off of players in Final Shape. Like they're shooting their load and they're like, please play our game. They're bringing Recluse, Luna's Howl, Hammerhead, like a lot of Mountaintop, a lot of these.
Veterans going to feel about those guns kind of coming back and just being available for anyone that wants to play the game?
There's 2 weapons that they've actually put in this Brave arsenal that they're saying that are actually from raids, and they're from raids that are currently in the game right now. And so some people are like, there is some backlash around that. There's also just a ton of misinformation, like, oh, you can't get that gun, you don't own the expansion. And they were clear as day on these live streams of like, these 12 weapons are free players, this is a free update, and like this is what you can do. So again, on the fence, like play on April 9th and see if you like the game. I've even said before, like spend $10 or $12 on a season, see if you like it and move on. Like just decide, like you can just sign in, play Onslaught, this new mode, do these quests, unlock these weapons. You can even target farm these weapons at this point in time, their version of target farming. There's little special like memento looking ornaments that you can only earn during April 9th to the launch of the Final Shape, but then you can still earn the weapons post Final Shape, just not with these special ornaments on them or whatever. Like please play your game now, please. But like Bungie's walking a dangerous line with what they're doing right now, because I think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. The Final Shape could be an amazing campaign that tells an amazing conclusion to the story that they've been telling for the last 7 years or whatever. But then people are like, those weapons are better than the ones you gave me for free. Mm-hmm. And that could be a huge problem for them, because that's where your player base and your player retention goes away, as they play the campaign, they play the story, they do a little bit of end game, they do the raid once or twice, and then they dip, and they don't come back. And they're like, why do I need to come back? You gave me a weapon for free that I was able to go through and do all the campaign and all the little bit of end game and the 1 or 2 raid runs that I wanted to do to determine that I hate RNG, and you're not giving me the weapon I want after you just gave me the weapons I wanted for free. And that's a huge problem that they're going to have. But
they need to knock this expansion out of the ballpark, and then also this expansion needs to keep the players' attention for potentially several months.
Yeah, I mean, they've got episodes coming, but they've kind of moved into the, instead of every 3 months, every like 4 months, 4.5 months model of episodes. They're not doing seasons anymore. They're doing episodes. I think they said 3 episodes for next year, but nobody knows like they haven't really talked post these episodes. They haven't talked about raid or dungeon content, down 6 months, 8 months down the road. And they're in a weird spot. I'm committed. I want to see how this story ends. I'll probably still play this game. I have a core group of 5, 6, 7 people that I play this game with that are friends of mine. That group has changed and evolved over time. But I'm not gonna, like, I don't see myself stopping playing it, but I'm definitely not playing it and committing to it the time frame that I was before. And even me as a player that I probably have.
So we're not gonna get a 24-hour stream audio?
No, I haven't done that since launch of D2, I think.
Okay,
Forsaken.
I feel like there's the last expansion you still woke up at like 6 a.m.
No, the game doesn't update until 1 now or noon.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to how they're tying the conclusion on this and what direction they're going to try to take the story. Because but I'm very worried for them for the future in general. And I've seen all the articles now, like how are they going to balance Destiny and Marathon? And this is giving off what they're doing right now is giving off very big vibes to the end of D1. Where they're like, okay, here you go. Here's everything you've wanted. Have at it, and we're gonna do something new. So I feel like D3 is much newer than a possibility of continuous of D2, but at the same time, I don't know.
Dave, I hate to tell you, I could potentially see this just being the end of Destiny.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like that's what Bungie wants to do. Like in terms of
that was going to be my question.
What they're saying.
Does it feel like Bungie does what? Do they even seem interested anymore in continuing Destiny as a franchise?
I think that they are, but I think that the people that made Destiny as great of a game as it was for the time frame that it was are now working on Marathon, because they, similar to like Naughty Dog, they're like, I don't want to do any more Uncharted. I don't want to do any more Nathan Drake. And it came from a lot of those Bungie people. I have to do
one more shader for this character design.
Bungie's been through it. I don't want to do Halo anymore. We want to do Destiny, and then they did Destiny for a while. I don't want to do Destiny anymore. Now we're looking at Marathon. But the problem is if Marathon doesn't hit, like that's the thing. They're in trouble. If Destiny's struggling and Marathon doesn't hit, they're screwed.
Yeah.
And if they both hit, then they're going to be considered. They're one of those companies that can go from the mid-tier developer of like, oh, Bungie's whatever, to where there is the possibility that Marathon could get your attention. There is a possibility, and if they get your attention and they can still sustain Destiny at the level or even a slight growth, and Marathon hits, that they move up into that top tier studio again of like, oh, now they do it with 2 games.
Yeah, I think that would possibly be the end of Destiny if Marathon hits enough. Because with PlayStation,
I think that Sony would just expand them. I think
I don't know if I could see PlayStation being like, pull those fuckers off Destiny and put them on Marathon. We're a Marathon company now.
Yeah, it'd be hard to say.
Yeah, but especially if Destiny doesn't hit. Like, I have a lot of doubts about this new expansion hitting whatever sales goals.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, and I think that's why they're doing Into the Light, like what they're doing. I think they're doing everything they can. I legitimately think their hope is that they're doing everything they can to get somebody similar to you, not you, because I know you're kind of done with it, but similar to you, to sign in,
did Vault of
play,
Glass and said I'm out.
Yeah, but to sign in and play, and grab some of these weapons that like they had that like Recluse and Mountaintop were like in year 2 of Destiny 2 were like these pinnacle top tier weapons that everybody wanted, everybody's using. I remember that. Oh, they brought that back. You can play with it now. And then the hope is, I forgot how, like I really think that they're going to be like, I forgot how good this game felt, in terms of mechanically and visually. It'd be like, okay. And then they're probably just going to market the hell out of the final shape on you and to hope to get you to play. And they've got some work to do, but that's pretty much been it for playing and watching for me.
So for me, it's been still playing with my PS3 stuff. Like, got the Sly Cooper Platinum. Now I'm playing X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I remember being a really cool game back then. Still, gameplay wise, still pretty good, but I forgot some games just kind of had that brown and gray tint on the screen, and then, sub 30 frames per second sometimes isn't the best experience. Like, I definitely, like, within the first 10 minutes was like, oh, I'm gonna get a headache playing this, but eventually that headache went away and I just got used to the game looking like shit. So this is gonna make the next PS5 game I play look fantastic. Played on the PS3 for as long as I have been. So I'm playing through that. It's gonna require 2 playthroughs, so it might be a situation where I try and do everything I can in this playthrough, move on to another game, and then come back and do like the extreme or hard playthrough. Just because I've never been the person that can play a game back to back. Like, I can play a game multiple times, but I can't do that back to back, or else I'm gonna get bored and I'm gonna go crazy. So I've been playing that. I'm still kind of waiting for my next game, and I just haven't been able to find it because I was morbid curiosity for Suicide Squad, but don't feel like playing multiplayer games. Helldivers look pretty cool, but don't feel like doing multiplayer games. There hasn't really been a single player game that's caught my attention, which is why I went back to the PS3. I did go to a GameStop also this weekend, and they actually had retro games there. They actually had a very decent PS3 and 360 collection, which was like kind of surprising to me. That they had retro games. I definitely was the first person to like purchase a game from that section in a while, because the people working there were kind of surprised that like I wanted to know where the old games were at the GameStop. But yeah, I ended up picking up some games that I actually needed to rebuild my PS3 collection, which I wasn't expecting. Notorious Bud asked if anyone's playing Rise of Ronin. I am not, but because people are saying it's kind of an ugly game, but it's fun mechanically, I'm kind of like, I'm interested in that. Because if there's one thing I love, it's AA games.
Bad good games.
Yes. And that game
good games done
like,
bad.
Yeah. That game looks like I like good games that didn't have a budget.
Yeah.
Like though that's my shit. So like Rise of Ronin actually is piquing my interest of a game that I might want to try. But I might wait for a sale for that. But I think the next game I play that's a newer game is probably going to be Infinite Wealth, because it's on sale right now from Amazon. It's like down to $40.
Okay.
I'm still interested in Suicide Squad, and it's been on sale, but because it was a $70 game, a sale for that is $50.
$49.99.
Yeah, and I can't do that. I can't justify paying
$39.99 is okay. $49.99 no good.
Yes, especially for Suicide Squad.
Yep. I haven't even gone back. Like I have it. I mean, but I haven't gone back. I've also discovered that I need to see if it works on my, because I have a Google TV. I think our TCLs are Google based, right? Or Android TV.
Android TV.
I need to see if Steam Link works on Android TV, because I think I might be able to play certain things upstairs on the couch. So I have to see how that works. I've heard some people talking about your like streaming Steam games on your TV.
Yeah, I don't know if you still need the Steam like.
There's an app now.
Yeah, there's an app now.
Yeah, so just kind of curious.
Yeah, I did start X-Men 97. And I'm actually really digging it. The only problems I have with the show, like it took me a little bit to get used to the art style because it just looked a little off to me. But
I think they're doing that on purpose. But
yeah, I wanted it to like kind of look old and shitty, I guess. And it just looked too clean. Though.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Like it's too clean to try and mimic that.
Yeah,
like it looks like it's trying to do that, but they wanted to still everything nice, crisp, and clean. Mm-hmm. The only problem I'm having is like. Some of the voice replacement, the voice actor replacements, I'm just not really digging. Like Rogue, I think I do not like the voice for Rogue. But for the most part, like Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. They are doing a really good service to Cyclops in this series of just like, hey, Cyclops is a badass in the comics and has a lot of dimensions. We're going to actually show you some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like it could be leaning into some of the darker stuff that Cyclops gets into in the comics, and I'm 100% there for this. Like, I like the first 2 episodes. It wasn't, here's a Wolverine show, which very much happens with all the X-Men cartoons. It turns into like, hey, this is a Wolverine cartoon. Mm-hmm. This is like, hey, we're going to be focused on Cyclops. We're going to actually be focused a little bit on Rogue and Magneto, and everyone's kind of getting their time to shine. So I'm enjoying the first 2 episodes. I think the 3rd episode's out today because I saw reviews started to hit. So I'm gonna watch the 3rd episode. But
you're probably gonna have to mute that on Twitter. So
I've already. Well, the thing is, like the cliffhanger they gave last week.
Yeah.
I already knew what storyline they were going for when I saw that. So like I already know where they're going. I'm just like when going back to the original show. It was always like really interesting to see how they're able to fit like a very complex comic book storyline into a 30-minute show. Mm-hmm. They would do multi-parters, you'd have 3-parters, 5-parters, but like that, the thing that was so great about the original cartoon was its ability to take complicated storylines, trim all the fat, and actually deliver a entertaining and faithful adaptation for the comics in a kid show. And this is now not quite a kid show. It's a little bit above a kid show.
Teenage show.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool things they can do.
I need to go back and watch the 2nd episode. I was very tired when I watched it. And the first episode was like, hey, we exist. These are the characters. And I was like, okay, I didn't need this. But then I need to realize that other people might,
Yeah.
And then the 2nd episode, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I don't know the direction they're going. So
yeah, no, I already see like where the next plot point's going to be based off the comics. And there's so many different directions they could go based on where the characters were just in the first 2 episodes. So there's a ton of potential there. It is funny seeing the discourse of people that for a while I saw like a lot of discourse of people being like, oh my God, people are complaining about X-Men being to whatever. And I'm like, those people can't exist because X-Men's always been about this. X-Men's always been a metaphor, allegory for, like marginalized
But those
groups.
people are 20 years older now, man, and now they're like they.
And no, but it's funny though because like I was just like those people can't exist that didn't understand the X-Men comics, cartoon, or any of that. And then like I'm on TikTok and I come across one of those people and I'm just like they have X-Men stuff all over their room. I say that I have X-Men stuff all over my room, but like there are people that like are X-Men fans that don't understand like the X-Men has always been metaphors for various things.
Yeah.
And it's just it's
like,
wild.
Where do you think people get comic book ideas from? Like there's still inspiration and there's still character arcs and there's still
it's just kind of wild seeing people just being like, why are the X-Men, like you hear people be like, oh, the X-Men are woke. It's just like, yeah, they are. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like they
were
X-Men.
in 1997.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like you didn't pay attention. You enjoyed the Pizza Hut, but you didn't read the comic that came with it. What the fuck? Like you got to read the comic that came with your Pizza Hut. But yeah, no, it's been entertaining watching like the X-Men stuff and people's random reactions to the characters and stuff like that. I'm still getting used to some of the stuff. I hate that Morph's back. I hate Morph. I hated Morph when I was a kid. I hate him now. But hopefully they do something interesting to justify bringing Morph back. But that's probably like my only other issue is they brought Morph back. Fuck Morph. He's boring. But maybe they can change my mind. But we'll see. But that's all for me.
All right. So we're going to jump into a couple questions really quick. You can send us your questions using hashtag AskDigitalDays. You can post them in Discord under the Ask Digital Days server channel. Andy writes, this is for both of you guys, but especially Michael. Would you try this out?
There's a picture in Discord.
Yeah. $15 White Sox campfire milkshake. Chocolate milkshake topped with whipped cream, torched marshmallows, graham crackers, chocolate pieces, and chocolate syrup dripping down the rim of the glass.
16-ounce milkshake.
Yeah.
Specifically. Dave,
100%. I love s'mores. I love campfire stuff, and I love chocolate. So, like, yes, like this would be if I do have plans eventually to get to Chicago to do Wrigley Field and the White
guaranteed
Sox
rate field.
Yes.
I hate to say
I was going to say Comiskey.
Nope, I'm going to give you the right name because I fucking hate this team this year.
I do I do want to do that. So like this would be something that I would 100% get. I think full disclosure, I think we're going Angela, Owen, and myself. We're going to Toronto first, right after the All-Star break. The Tigers play in Toronto, and there is an amusement park there that our passes get us into. So I think we're going to make a weekend trip or a 4-day trip out to Toronto in end of July, and that would be what I call the Sky Dome, which is called Rogers Center. To check that out. I do want to start trying to hit some more ballparks, and some of it is I don't know if anybody's ever followed Darren Ravel on Twitter. He used to work for ESPN. He's done some other stuff, but he definitely, you have to sift through some of his betting and odd stuff, but he'll do some cool things where he sends out pictures of like food that like unique food that ballparks have and stuff like that. And it gets really interesting. Like San Francisco, I think has like some amazing like fish sandwiches and stuff that, like some ridiculous stuff. But this is 100%. I would try this, and I would take that cup home too.
This looks like it. So I like all that. I would try this, but I would probably want to try this at home, not at a ball game in the summer in Chicago.
Yeah, I think it'd be like late May, early June for me, like before it gets like stupid hot,
Yeah, it'd have to be September or May.
Yeah.
Like I would not try this in the middle of the summer. The only thing that would stop me from trying this is justifying me spending $15 on a milkshake. That's the only thing that would stop me potentially from trying this, is because paying $15 for a milkshake is kind of crazy. But everything they're saying
at a ballpark is not too bad. But
I know, but at a ballpark, I'm not drinking or eating anything for the most part. I'm not wasting money on a fucking $12 hot dog. That's plain.
Yeah.
Like fuck that.
Well, the follow-up question is, otherwise, what's your favorite ballpark snack or drink, etc.? I think you and I are kind of into the same natra, or I typically so in Detroit, and I don't know if this is anywhere else, but I like them, but Angela loves them. There's like roasted almonds that like you can definitely tell like when you're within like 100 feet of these things of where she's like, okay, we have to buy those, like the smell is too good, and they're not awfully expensive, but I for the most part can be content as just like an old school peanuts guy. And other than that, I'll get like the pretzels or nachos. Like usually,
I'll get the nachos in the little
food.
souvenir hat.
Yeah,
like, I'll do that.
That's where you get the most food. You get like a ton of dip. You get salsa. You get chips. And then I'm with you though. Like I already feel annoyed $7 or $8 for like a 20-ounce Mountain Dew or Pepsi or Coke or something. Versus like God forbid a beer for like $13.
Oh God,
I'm like, no, I'm good. So.
I remember going to Wrigley with a friend who's a Cubs fan, and I was just like, how fucking expensive it's going to be. And it was like $15 for a Miller. And I was just like, no, I'm fine. Actually, I'm going to be sober as fuck right now.
you and I almost went to a Dodger game. I remember we were at Grand Central Station. We're like, if we go that way, we can go to the Dodger game. And they're like, oh, we got to go this way. And like, I would say like a Dodger dog would be on top of my list.
Yeah. There's some things you do have to try. Like the White Sox have really good food. Like some of the like restaurants you kind of sit down bar and grill at the White Sox are pretty good. The funny thing is like a lot of people looking at the milkshake thing clearly have never been to Portillo's.
Yeah.
Because Portillo's has a cake shake.
Chocolate cake
milkshake.
Yep.
with a slice of cake mixed into it.
Yeah, and like, you get like a super wide straw.
Yeah, and they give you a spoon. Because eventually you will drink all the liquid out of there and you'll just have cake.
There's a Portillo's 20 minutes from us now.
Yeah.
And I literally have to go there like and like had breakfast and then not go there till like 3:00 and then get something from there and then take that shake home and work on that shake for like 4 hours.
Anyone that like are in the comment section that saw this milkshake that said like, oh no, that's too much, clearly aren't from the Midwest, because that is a typical ass milkshake in the Midwest. You have to be in like that tri-state of like Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois.
You got to touch a Great Lake, like somewhere. Yeah.
If you touch a Great Lake, you can destroy a milkshake that looks like it has too much stuff in it.
And every ballpark has their thing. The couple times I've been to Milwaukee, like the brats are there.
Did you see one of the parks has it's like a 3-layered rainbow cookie that's deep fried in egg roll? Like that's something that like a park has.
I have not. No,
like, ugh, looks terrible, but like that also seems very Midwest. So if you told me that's like at the Guardian Stadium, I'd be like, yeah, of course. Why not? You're in Ohio. What else the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. So and then
I think that's it.
No, Roy Gibbs has one in the chat here. So question for the end of the show. My 5-year-old loves Pokemon. I know nothing about Pokemon, and I was an 80s child. What is the best video game to get him? We have already started with Pokemon Go. I don't think I can answer this.
Okay.
Give it a shot here.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, Pokemon Go is a really good place to start. Honestly, Pokemon's one of those franchises you can kind of jump in anywhere. You don't need to know any story stuff, but like, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee on the Switch are really good introductions to Pokemon. It's a remake of some of the older Pokemon games, or loose remake, but I feel like that art style is very appealing to someone that's not used to it because it has a little more style to it, and a little more interactivity with the Pokemon. So I would say like Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu are a good place to start. But then after that, honestly, you can go anywhere with Pokemon and be fine.
Yeah.
I would say
Scarlet, Violet,
Yeah, you can start anywhere from there. Was it Shining, Pearl, and
Diamond?
Yeah. Those are remakes of some very good Pokemon games. So I would probably say maybe if you're not interested in like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, you could try Pearl and Diamond remakes on the Switch because those are well-regarded original Pokemon games that were remastered. So
just be careful. I mean, I know you mentioned, Roy, that you mentioned these 5. I've kind of been going through this with Owen a little bit. Owen's reading is improving dramatically, but like Pokemon games have a lot of reading. So,
Yeah, that's why I would say Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be the worst option to go, because at least there's a lot more art style stuff going on that can
he's like,
kind of fake through.
he's like, help me, MJC. You're done. There's nothing you can do to help you. Just wait till they start asking about playing with the trading cards and wanting to collect cards, because Owen's going through the part where he wants
Hey,
cards.
you know what? That can turn into money. You know, you can you catch the right card. And
Dude, I'm having to
it's pretty
bribe
good.
this kid to clean his room with video games already.
Oh, honestly, might sound like a joke. Pokemon Snap. It's
Yeah.
not a traditional Pokemon game, but it's a good introduction to all the various Pokemon.
Yep.
And your kid can find their next favorite Pokemon in that game, and then you can then find the actual Pokemon game that Pokemon will be available in. So Pokemon Snap, not a bad place to start.
All right, so those are our questions for today. Slightly shorter show than normal, not too much shorter. But you guys send us
Barely.
questions again using hashtag #AskDigitalDays. You can follow us on the socials. You can follow the main account at DigitalDaysPod. Excuse me. You can follow Michael at the first MJC. You can follow myself at Good Dave Hunt. All right, we have our Facebook group. We have our Discord server. Emphasis on the Discord server. To join the Discord server, participate in there. We can, customize it. It's easier to customize. It's
That
nice.
Helldivers channel.
Yeah.
Always popping.
Yep. The collection thing has its little spurs, like its little peaks up and down. I might there. I know that I thought about it. The collection channel shows like disc collection mostly, and I still might throw some of my hats and shoes in there just to show you guys.
No,
some
that's
stuff, 'cause-
literally
yeah.
just. Oh, I just bought. Hold on. Keep talking, Dave.
But yeah, there's definitely different categories in there. If we need to have a sports column,
PlayStation 3 hat. That's where I'm at, guys. That's where the fuck I'm at right now.
you need to put it in front of your face if you want people on the stream to see it. Don't forget about the borders. There you go.
Ah, there we go. PlayStation 3 hat. Oh, and what the fuck is this? A beanie. What's wrong with me, Dave? What the fuck is wrong with me?
Where did you find those at? At garage sale?
Fucking internet.
Internet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So-
What is wrong with me, Dave? I saw it and it was super cheap, and I was like, I kind of want a PlayStation 3 hat.
I bought some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adidas.
I mean,
Like,
that's
I had
nothing
to
wrong
buy
with
them.
that.
I had to buy them secondhand, like from StockX.
I want to
so-
wear this hat, but I'm afraid someone's going to be like, oh, you like PlayStation? And I'm going to be like, God damn it, I can't go out with this.
So yeah, there's definitely like I said, if we need to have a
I just threw it all on the floor. I pick that up.
we need to.
It's brand new. It still has the cardboard.
If we need to build a channel for sports talk, if we need to build a channel for different conversations,
We'll call the channel Balls. See if people actually go into it.
we can do any of those things, or you can just kind of hang out in the general chat and see, like, hopefully as games kind of grow and people start playing them, like, we'll definitely set something up. Don't worry, for those of you that are nervous, the Discord stuff or the Destiny stuff is in a completely separate Discord server. So
he made him take it away. No,
Yeah.
he didn't want to leave his established server.
no, it's fine. I'm fully aware of, like, when that does have its peaks, it can be very annoying. Yeah, Aji, I'll have to show you. I got it. Angela bought them for me off StockX. I don't have them in yet. So, but yeah, so that is the. I'll post some of that stuff. I've been buying a couple more hats. Like, as I don't know, you appreciate hats a little bit, Michael, but I've been kind of going to the point where I want them to have a logo on the side.
Oh, my favorite Sox hat has
Yeah.
a White Sox patch on the side.
Yeah, so this has the All-Star Game logo from like 2004 or 5 at Comerica Park. The San Diego Padres hat that I got has the logo on there. And then I just saw like the Lions like draft day hats that have like the one pride on the side. So, yeah, that's kind of like where we're at with me and my expressions now are my sneakers and my hats. So since I'm bald. But you can definitely check out that stuff. You can also just check out our Patreon, patreon.com/digitaldaysgaming. We've got a couple different tiers in there. So with that, you got anything else there, Michael?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Just we're due for a Patreon bonus episode. We gotta coordinate to get that recorded soon.
Yeah, I guess that is time for that. Okay. All right. Yeah, with that, I hope everyone has a great week. Keep moving forward.
Don't be a dick. See ya.